can see the Emu bitter blocks, Emu export blocks, sorry, coming off to be placed into the pallets. Full capacity, this warehouse can store up to 1 million cartons of beer. Every week, between 400 to 600,000 cartons of beer will leave this warehouse. Only in a week, and it's only for Western Australia's market.
So how much is that?
Between 400 to 600,000 cartons a week will leave the warehouse only for Western Australia's market. Because we're with a sister company with Tooheys Brewery, Forex Brewery, Hahn Brewery, South Australian Breweries, which is now called West End Brewery, they can brew our beers on their premises under licence. We can do the same. So that's one of the reasons we also brew the Tooheys, the Forex, the Hahn brands here for Western Australia's market. It's cheaper and easier for us to do that rather than freight them across. Okay.
Have you not run out of battery yet? That's very good.
Any questions? Who likes beer? What? That's it? My goodness. All right. Let's just move on to the next. Thank you very much. We only run 2 lines as well. Throughout the week, we'll probably run, say, the kegging throughout the day, and then either the bottling or the can line for the week. Next week, we'll do either bottling or canning and the keg line again. So we don't run the whole 3 lines during the week together. Okay? So obviously can line is running, meaning that the bottling line will not be running this week. They will do a complete overhaul on the bottling line. Pulling the machines apart, replacing whatever they need to replace. Right, just don't go too far at this stage. I'll just quickly go through the bottling line here with you guys. All the bottles are brand new bottles. They have been new as in recycled bottles. They come from the recycling manufacturers, so made into new bottles. In the old days, we used to have returnable bottles. So we would get the bottles, we would wash them and refill them. It doesn't happen now. Okay, I think about 15 years ago they actually stopped that now. So all the bottles are all recycled, made new, brought to us from the back of the warehouse, and a big conveying line will bring all the empty bottles from the back towards us. On the floor there's 2 narrow conveying lines. One's got all the coloured boxes sitting on the top and one on the left, as you can see. That will bring all the empty stubbies towards us. Straight underneath us are the bottle rinsers. So all the bottles will go through a cold water rinse. We need to just give them a quick wash. Once they're washed, the bottles are hung upside down to take all the beers out, and they will make their way to the 2 little round circular machine, which is our filler number 3 and filler number 4. Stubbies fills them at the rate of 700 stubbies in 1 minute. Large bottles, it's about 320 per minute that the machine will fill. As soon as the bottles are filled, the tops are placed on to make sure that you don't have the bottle sitting there, the beer sitting there, absorbing oxygen. Oxidised beers smells like wurty beer, which is like the Worcestershire sauce again. Okay? So we don't want that. We don't want dust falling inside as well. So the tops are placed on straight away. Once the tops go on, they will make their way into the pasteuriser. Pasteurisation heats the beer. Heating the beer will kill any bacteria in the product. It's about 60 degrees of heating. And then it goes through a cooling stage, so we're not overcooking that beer. Okay? The whole process for the bottles is about 35 minutes of going through a snake chain of heating and a cooling process at the end. Once they come out, the bottle, of course, we have to put the labels on them. Once the labels are placed on, they will make their way into the cartons. Okay? A little bit of trivia. In the early 1930s, we had a man named Alec Bond, no relation to Alan Bond. Alec was known as the fastest labeller in the West. Alec was renowned to be the fastest labeller. He was known as that because Alec could label 1,200 bottles, so that's 1,200 bottles in 16 minutes. That's 1/6 in those days. Quite fast, no sticky labels. Alec had to put glue on the bottles, get the labels and stick them on. So I think Alec laid all the bottles out in a row, got the glue with a brush and just gone through and come back and stick all the labels on. So by the time someone had invented the first labelling machine, which was in the early 1960s, they realised that the machine couldn't label any faster than Alec. So that's why he was renowned for to be the fastest labeller. Our little machine, which is, if you have a look right at the end of the building, you can see that 110 sign. Right at the end of that building, there's a little round circular machine hiding behind a glass panel that's been pushed up to the ceiling at the moment. That's our little labelling machine. Can label 1,200 bottles in 1 minute. Progress. Yes? And we have 2 machine operators here down on the bottling line. Can line, we also have 2. In the keg line, we also have 2 machine operators. Everything is fully automated. Okay? I'll show you the pasteuriser. It cost us $2.8 million. We had it installed about 4 years ago. Behind the no smoking sign as well, you'll see some staff. Their job for his 12-hour day is basically putting the cardboard boxes onto the machine. That's his job. Quite boring, quite monotonous. If you've upset the boss, you could end up in that area. Can you imagine standing 12 hours and that is your job? Putting empty cartons. Bob, the job is quite boring, very monotonous. So the company gave him incentives. If you can learn to operate 3 or 4 machineries in different departments, you go up in levels. And of course, as you go higher up in levels, that's it. More money you'll end up in your pay packet. Okay? Any questions at this? No?
How many people operate this floor, Ross?
If they're on 12-hour shifts, there'll be 15.
Okay, and when it was a manual system, how many people?
Well, just in the keg line, we had 33 staff in our keg line, and you probably end up with 20 to 22 staff per line because they physically have to lift, pack. You don't have to do that now.